Welcome to Aaron Plays. This will be episode 26 of our Fire in the Lake playthrough with me playing as the US and the other three factions being played by the Tru'ng expansion bots. Welcome back. So I've been away for a week or so, so I might be a little bit rusty on what's occurring on the board, but the last card that was revealed, we've got a coup coming up. Therefore, the current card is a monsoon, which has certain restrictions on what can be used and what can be played. So without any further ado, let's carry on with the action. Let's just remove this mini-me. And I am gone. So we have, the insurrectionists operating on this particular card. And what we actually got on here. The VC are first. Okay, so let's see what the VC are going to do on this card. We know that there could be no pivotal event, because pivotal events aren't allowed on the coup card is showing. So is the current event critical and effective for them? So it's card number 93. 93 is critical for nobody. So it's not critical. Next eligible could choose critical event. As I said, it's not critical for anybody, so that's not applicable. First choice an upcoming critical event. There is no critical event. So otherwise, they do an op plus SA. Let's pop that in there. Op and special activity, which we know means draw a card. So the card that comes up is VC card V. Okay, so first question on the card is, are the underground VC guerrillas in any space not at active opposition? So Tainin, VC guerrillas, which are underground, they're not at active opposition. Quanduk is not at active opposition. So there's quite a few. So ticking that box. Next question. Are there 3d6 or equal to or less than 3d6 available VC pieces? Well, let's roll 3d6. So 3, 6, 7, 8. Is that equal to less than the available VC pieces? It is 13. So that's another tick. So they will rally. And they're using place bases where there are 3+ VC guerrillas. Okay, so we could place a base here. All right. Is there anywhere else where there's 3+ VC guerrillas? There's already 2 bases there, so no. Okay, so following the rally procedure on the V card, it says place base by 3 guerrillas, and then using the normal charts, they can place 1 VC guerrilla or replace 2 with a VC base. So let's replace this. Turn to available. Turn to available. And place a VC base. Okay. And then the actual VCV card has a 2. So in the corner. So then you only need to roll 3 or more to continue. They don't. So that's all they do under the actual rally. Obviously not many resources left. Okay. So next up is their special activity, which it could be, right, okay. So they roll, first of all, 2d6, and if the total is greater than their agitate, the current agitate is 7, they tax. It is higher, so 2d6 is greater than agitate total, tax in 1d3 spaces. They tax in 2 spaces. Okay, so they tax in most total opposition. So it could be bin din or bin toy, or even where we just place a base. Okay, so it's one of those three. Set your problems with most VC gorillas. Okay. There's 2 gorillas in there. Most gorillas in there, but to actually tax, it needs to be underground. So it doesn't specify. Okay, so yeah, it needs to be a place with a inactive gorilla. So most of total opposition. So here or here. So activate that gorilla and they tax. And it's in 2 spaces. All the tax is not actually going to give them any resources per se. Okay, that will shift the. Oh, wait a minute. If there's a VC base, there's got to be 2 underground gorillas. So no, it won't tax there. Okay, so it's got to be at least 2 underground gorillas. So it looks like it's this one here. All right. Because taxing, no one likes to be taxed. That's the first area. And they'll do one more. Again with highest population. So it looks like it'll be here. Because the tax, do you need the your tax where there's coin control? No coin control. Because the Tru'ng bot must still follow the normal rules. So they can't tax in bin din because it's coin control. And it's supposed to be difficult to get tax collectors out of the soldiers patrolling all over the streets. So that was the first area. Actually, even can't tax there. Dear oh dear. Okay. That's also coin controlled. So let's put that back. Okay, so it can't be coin controlled. There's a base, got to leave 2 active gorillas. So there's no active opposition where they can actually tax. So a passive opposition, now we're looking again where there's no coin control. There's got to be it. So can't tax here because there's no inactive gorilla. So it looks like it's Tainin and Kwandok are the only 2 places that can actually tax. There's no coin control. So both those areas, as I say, no one likes to be taxed. Okay, and shift agitate total +1 for each pop econ taxed. So that's 2, 3. Okay, they don't earn any actual resources for that, because remember the resources are effectively, as our American friends like to say, under the hood. and not taking Sarah from that position. That ends the VC. So let's end faction play. And that brings up the NVA. Okay. So what they're going to do. Second faction. Each active action will be first eligible on upcoming because there's no any upcoming critical event because we know it's a coup. First eligible chose op and essay. An event is performed and or critical. I think 93 is performed for. So first eligible chose op and essay. An event is performed or critical and effective. Well, let's now have a proper look at this event. War Skeptic, one available US base out of play. Aid -9. Is that going to be effective? It's removing pieces. And it's reducing aid. So yes, the NVA will do the event. Okay. So one available US base to out of play. That's a bit nasty. And -9 on the aid. 25 took away 9. Leaves them on 16. Nasty. End faction play. End card play. Draw card. Right, we're into the coup. So, is anyone near victory? No. NVA, by the looks of it, the closest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 away. The VC are Miles. I'm Miles. And the Arvin are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 away. Well, 41, 50, 48, 10 away. So, yes, the NBA are closest to victory, but they're not there yet. Okay. Anything else on this coup card? Stable at no effect. Okay. So, nothing else to worry about on there. We go into the resources phase. Okay, so non-player NVA and non-player VC place sabotage markers where possible. Highest econ first. So are they on any road? Well, they are technically on this one. So they'll place sabotage there. That's the only one by the looks of it. Oh, no, there's one here. Okay. Yeah, that's sabotage markers placed. Next up, degrade trail. Okay. Well, there's no coin control anywhere around here, so no need to degrade the trail. Okay, so then the Arvin resources. Total econ. Okay, so econ is currently 14 because of that sabotaging there. Plus aid. 14 plus 16 is 30. And it's already at 20, so that takes that to 50. 50 resources. You know, the insurgents do not track resources. So there's no need to do the resource stage for them. And then finally, I've got to subtract 3 times the number of casualties pieces from aid. There's 15 points removed from aid. No one likes to see those body bags come back, do they? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. So that's the resources part. Into support. So I can now pacify. Okay. A combined total of 4 spaces with coin control, police, and their own troops. And every 3 Arvin resources spent removes any terror. Okay, but it's got to be coin control, police, and troops. Well, I'm going to do Saigon. So it costs 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, because that instantly boosts my score up a bit. Okay, anywhere else, we've got troops and police. So police in here, but I've got no US troops. That's one area so far. No US troops in here, so I can't do there. Okay. Well, we could take support away here. We could shift it up to 2 levels. Their support's already pretty low. So I'd rather boost mine. So I'm going to do Quenon. That costs 3. 1, 2, 3. Fubon. I can do it 2 levels. So that will cost 6. 1, 2, 3. 6. I've got one more place I can go. I think. There we go. Okay, so that's my US pacify. In pacify, well, there is none because I can only do a maximum of 4 spaces. So we're now looking at okay. All right. Yeah, okay, I'm just making sure there's nothing else in the round instructions for the Arbin. No, there isn't. Right. So non-player VC. Select spaces using shift towards opposition. Total shifts and terror markers removed up to agitate total. Reduce agitate total -1 for each terror marker removed and level shifted. Okay. So as it says that, I've got to check the shift opposition table. And there are various checks on here, so let me just pause for a moment. Okay, so this is using the agitate total as a sort of guide here. It says, right, select spaces using shift towards opposition. The general shift towards opposition is looking at cities not or provinces not at active opposition already and the most population. Okay, and to agitate, there can be no coin control. So we're looking at places with most opposition. So, and no coin control. So we're looking at here. There's no coin control, and it's not active opposition, and it's got 2 pop. So we'll look at 2 pop places first, where there is no coin control, and it's not active opposition already. So there, that's 2. So they can't do it in Quantry because there's coin control. That's a 1. Is there anywhere else with a 2? Does there need to be a VC? Yeah, it's got to be. VC may agitate up to 4 spaces with any VC and no coin control. Okay, so they couldn't do it down here because there's no VC gorillas. That's already at max opposition. That's already at max. So there's 1. Those are the first 2 spaces, really. Okay, so they can. So select spaces you can shift towards opposite for total shifts, and terror markers remove it up to agitate total. Okay, so they can go here 2 shifts. Each one of those reduces the agitate total by 1 each shift. That's the way I read that. Reduce agitate total -1 for each terror marker removed and level shifted. Maximum of 4 spaces. So we've done 1 space there. We'll do another space here. Okay, that's 2. Can't do there. Can't do here because it's coin controlled. They can do here. They can shift this to. So that's 3 spaces so far. In actual fact, that's it. So they've done 3 spaces. Okay. So let's remove those pawns. Okay. So that was the VC agitate. Right. Now we're going to redeploy. And this is by far the most complicated part of the coup phase. Right, so non-player Arvin. Move cubes as outlined below and keep other cubes in their current spaces. Except as a result of troops exiting provinces without a coin base, keep Arvin cubes to exceed US troops in 2 pop spaces with support. Okay. So this is just instructions. So, okay. So normally under redeploy, we remove all US and Arvin from Laos and Cambodia. There's none of those. Arvin must move its troops from lines of communications and provinces without US and Arvin bases. Okay, so are there any Arvin troops on lines of communication? There are not. And provinces without US Arvin bases. All right, so there's 4 troops in Quang Tri, and there's no US or Arvin base. As I said, this is the most complicated part, is this redeploy. However, there seems to be an emphasis on move troops to get coin pieces to exceed enemies in Saigon. Well, that's easy. We already know enemies. And in all provinces with a coin base. So I'm looking at Gang here. Okay, so these 2 troops will remain. Okay, and it looks like it will be reinforced because that is the first place where there is a coin base and these troops need to move to a city or where a coin base is. And the first priority is move troops to get coin pieces to exceed enemies in Saigon and in all provinces with a coin base. So I'm going to select these 4 here and move them straight down. That base is vulnerable. Okay, so we've now given them coin control in that province to get coin pieces to exceed enemy pieces. So we must be exceeding. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 to 3, 6, 7, 8. So yes, so by moving those 4, we now exceed. Okay. We've still got these 2 troops in Tai Ninh to move, but they're no longer needed here. So next, there's no other vulnerable base. We've got more cubes here than yet. So there is no other vulnerable base. So get 1 troop to Hoi and to each 2 province with a coin base and no support. Well, each 2-point province with a coin base. Most opposition first. Okay, so at least 1 troop needs to move there. Any other 1 troop to Hoi and to each 2-pot province with a coin base and no support. Any other 2-pot province? No. With a coin base? No. Next up, move troops to get Arvin cubes to exceed US troops in each 2-pot province with a coin base. Arvin cubes to exceed US troops. Okay, so another one. Still 2 US troops. It's got to exceed in each 2-pot province with a coin base. Okay. We still got 1 troop here that needs to go. Another 2-pot province with a coin base. Yeah, no, they'll vastly exceed. No. Move any troops still in provinces without a coin base. It's effectively, he's the only one now where there is no coin base. So where does he move to? Most population and enemy base. Is there a place where there's an enemy base? No. So most pop. I think you'll join them down there. They can't stay in Quang Tin. No. Okay, so that's the first part done. Okay. Get police to exceed enemies in all provinces with coin control and no coin base. Get police to exceed enemies in all provinces with coin control and no coin base. Okay. Coin control. So we need to get a policeman in here. Get police to see enemies in all provinces with coin control and no coin base. Ooh, these two troops. They can't stay there. All the bases are secure. So we'll bring them back into here. Okay. Yeah, they definitely can't remain there. Got police in Hoi. And each 2 pop with a coin control and no support. So we have police in pretty much everywhere we need. Yeah. Get police to get arming cubes to exceed US troops in each 2 pop space. Police to exceed US troops. Again, I think in each 2 pop space. I think we're looking okay on that regard. Get police to equal guerrillas on all lines of communication. Highest econ first. I'm taking from where they have the most, because generally the instructions always move from where there is most. Okay. I think that's the police. Or they are being done for the redeploy. Okay. So next up is the NVA. Move NVA troops as outlined below and keep other NVA troops in their current spaces. Keep NVA pieces to exceed coin pieces plus VC pieces first, then keep friendly pieces to equal or exceed enemy pieces. Move troops only once within the following guidelines, right? So move NVA troops using place troops to select destination spaces outside North Vietnam with an NVA base. Right, there is no NVA bases in the south. So looking at their place troops, city or province with most NVA guerrillas, most NVA bases. No, none of those really apply. So it says move NVA troops using place troops select a destination space outside North Vietnam with an NVA base. Okay. So some of these other troops out here could move, because that's North Vietnam. This is South Vietnam, and this is neither. So NVA troops could move using the place troops. Okay. As the NVA can only move troops to where there are bases, and as I say, there are no bases in South Vietnam. None of these troops can move in further into the south. So So we're looking to see if any of these troops move to where they currently have bases. Okay. And the first option on the card is move troops to where there are most guerrillas. There's one guerrilla in most of these places, apart from the Parrot's Beak. But I don't think that's going to get any more troops either, because it then says, so the move NBA troops from South Vietnam spaces with no NBA control. So where there are troops at the moment, these here, there is no NBA control. So these might fall back into the Parrot's Beak. Because they can't reinforce it because there's no base. If there'd been a base there, then they could have sent some more troops. Now the coin control though isn't actually in place until the end of the coup, because those 4 troops made the coin control. But you don't adjust control to the end, so that technically shouldn't have come up. That still doesn't mean that they remain there. There was NBA control. I need to check the rules on this one. Yes, technically this has still got Quang Gang has still got NBA control, because you only adjust control at the end of redeployments. So that means those troops don't move, because of step 2 on here says with move NBA troops from South Vietnam bases with no NBA control. That did have NBA control, so those troops will remain there. It won't be reinforced though, because there is no base. Okay. I can't see any of these guys actually needing to redeploy. Okay, to each. I'm going to read this in a bit more detail now. Yes, I think I'm going to have to. Effectively, there's 2 places that their troops can move to. That's here and here. And each of those places, I've got to roll 3d6, and I've got to get that amount of troops to those 2 spaces. So let's try Central Laos, throw on 3d6. 4, 5, 6, 7. There's going to be 7 troops. 3, there's already 7 troops. That's fine. Any barking noises there? Neighbour's dog. Okay. Next up is Parrot's Beak. We need to get 6, 12, 13 pieces there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's enough there. So those are the only 2 that I needed to check for. So that is the NBA troop movement. Now this area now does become coin controlled, and all the other controls were in place as is. Okay. Is there any game end at that point? No. Okay. Commitment. Casualties. Then, all right. 1 in 3 US troops and all bases casualties out of play. Round down. So one of these will go to out of play. All right, so these other 4 US places other US troops casualties into any coin control lines of communication or Saigon. Okay, so where do I need these troops? Coin control, line of communication, or Saigon. Okay. I do think I need some help in the south here. So we'll base 1 here. And we'll place the other 3 in Saigon. Because if the Easter offensive kicks off, and it might do, it's more likely now with another coup card going into the box. I need to think about something about that. So that's those 3 in. Okay. And then US may move troops totaling up to 10 minus the number of casualties just placed, which is 4. Okay, so I've got another 6 pieces I could bring in. I've only got 5 available. Okay. I'm not going to bring anything from that. I'm moving those 2 into Canthal. There's no point in him being there on his own. So I'm moving him to here. So that's 3. I've got 3 more I can move. The line of communication. 2 more I can move. Okay, I don't think I can move any special forces. Yeah, it's just US troops or bases. I'm not removing anything from the map, but I'm not bringing anything else onto the map. I feel I've got enough troops. Yeah, got enough troops, but just not in the right places. 1 more to move. So we need to leave 1 in Fubon. No, they love us already, so he'll come down. Yeah. No, actually, that one's going to go into Saigon. I am worried about this. Yeah. Okay. So that's the commitment phase done. Just reset. What is the trail at? Yeah, so it doesn't change. There is a crew reset button. So that changes all the guerrillas and everything else underground. And faction players with all the arrows. This momentum card's been discarded. All factions should be now made eligible. So I'm not quite sure why that button doesn't change that. Okay. Momentum cards are gone. Everything else is set up, ready to go. So let's move that to that. And draw a card. Okay, so there's now 3 cards in the coup. I'll flip that one back over. Right. Put that there. Okay. That's the end of the coup. We have the Arvin good to go. Yeah, that did take a little bit of time to. Oh, I need to shuffle the deck of many cards. So as I'm shuffling on, I'll carry on talking. Yes, the coup phase. It does take a bit of time to get going, to get it organized. Especially with the redeploys. So that was a bit long-winded. I do apologize, but trying to get it right. And I've mentioned this in some of my previous comments, that I find the moving, the march and the redeploy, because there's so many long-winded instructions. And I can understand why there are long-winded instructions, because there's a lot of gears, bells, and whistles in this kind of game. But it is by far the most complex and mind-bending, and you never feel totally confident you've got it right. However, the next video we'll be moving on to the Arvin to go. So if you enjoyed what you've been watching, please click the like and subscribe if you've not done so already. Any comments, as always, much appreciated. Until next time, I'll meet you in the swamps and forests and jungles of Vietnam.